Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution.
Grand Rising! Thank you all for joining us for yet another exciting Wednesday edition on the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. I'm Naima Latif, your host for today. And as always, we're introducing someone you should know if you have not yet met her. She's going to be receiving a doctorate degree of humanitarian work, and at this event we will get an opportunity to meet a phenomenal woman, Barb Bailey. And as she receives her honorary doctorate at the We Dream in Color Humanitarian and Unity Celebration, Saturday, July 19th, 2025 at the DuSable Museum, we want you to think about the phenomenal life and the expression of creativity after such a shocking beginning. Well, once upon a time, a baby was born. She was, of course, born the natural way, but found in a cardboard box. And that baby was Barb Bailey. From her early beginnings in Wheeling, West Virginia, as an abandoned baby, to the present, Barb has carved out an impressive career in the music business. After graduating from college at Michigan State University, she became a disc jockey at the Hang-Ups on Rush Street in Chicago. From there, she represented music producer Bobby Whiteside at Universal Recording Studio. And of course, her talent was for garnering jingles for network TV. And they won 13 Clio Awards. Yes, phenomenal. She then moved to Los Angeles to work with another famous music producer, Dick Marks, father of singer-songwriter Richard Marks, as his music agent. They rented the second floor of Sunset Sound Recording Studio in Hollywood and produced award-winning film scores, television episodics, and artist records. Upon Dick's death, Barb moved back to Chicago and opened her own artist booking and management company. And this is where she allowed her talents to really blossom. She opened the Barb Bailey Entertainment, and her impressive client list is based in New York, Savannah, Georgia, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, and Chicago. Music genres range from pop to rock, jazz to tribute bands, and orchestral to rock and roll. Well, Barb is a music agent whose music chops have facilitated many shows she has written, booked, and produced for her singers. Definitely someone who has had amazing impact on the industry and other lives. Well, her expertise is widely sought after to this day. Barb Bailey Entertainment has gained high respect in the music industry by virtue of the fact that her artists are professional, dependable, and at the top of their game. And of course, from the initial booking to the final performance, Barb is dedicated, hands-on, and involved in every step of the process. But it doesn't stop there. Barb herself is also a singer, and she has written 15 different shows that she performs across the country. She has come a long way from being a baby found in a cardboard box. And Barb says, I could have been left in a dumpster, or drowned in the Ohio River. And the way, and this is so touching, of course. The way I pay it forward is through my music. Yes, she does. Barb is a storyteller. Her shows are filled with humor, life, and love. And of course, she's got an upcoming show that we are so excited to introduce you. Barb Bailey, Hollywood, Out of the Box. And we're going to hear more of her story. But I want to bring to you a phenomenal woman that you're going to meet as we give you an opportunity to buy tickets at this upcoming show at the Den Theater, Wednesday, June 18th, 2025. But let us bring to center stage our wonderful, marvelous entertainment sister, Barb Bailey. Thanks so much for joining us today on the Female Solution Global Radio TV show.
Thank you, Naima. Oh my God, I've got to live up to all of that. Really?
Well, there's even more, but I didn't want to keep waiting any longer, because I know they are just excited to hear from you.
Thank you.
And, I'm not going to ask her to sing on the show, because I want you all to buy tickets so you can pay to hear her, because she's definitely a voice worth listening to. But we are going to give you a little treat. We'll show you a few snippets of her performances, just so you can get a taste. But it's an exciting event coming up, and we're so thrilled that you're joining us today.
Thank you.
And of course, there are those. As a matter of fact, it was interesting. One of our hosts, I heard a guest mention you, and I said, "Wait a minute, that's Barb Bailey. I was going to have her on my show." So someone that you had managed had mentioned your name, and that's exciting, because that just shows the reach that you have. And you're going to be receiving an honorary doctorate. And we're looking forward to this event that is produced by the Dr. Quentin Diallo, Chief Tamba Taylor, internationally known, also known as Are Ateshe of Akola Ijesa Kingdom in Nigeria, Liberia, all over the world. And this event is going to be global in presenting some well-deserving awardees. How did you meet Dr. Quentin? How did you meet?
Oh my goodness. A long time ago, a really great friend of mine located in Chicago, he's now in Mexico, introduced us. And back then, what he was doing is fashion. And as you know, because you know Quentin so very well, Quentin loves fabrics, and he was, very much into the fabric business and models and modeling. And I have a cacophony of friends who used to model for him. And I got to know him when my mother was passing, so I didn't get to be in those shows. I was home with her. But he's an amazing human being, and I am so honored to accept this doctorate award in humanities. I'm gobsmacked, really. Thank you, Quentin.
Yes. Well, you are most deserving.
Thank you.
And you've had such a fascinating life. And we will, of course, see more about it in this upcoming show. So now you use a really creative means of singing and storytelling. What motivated you, inspired you to use this particular format in your performances?
You know what? I mean, I have to be honest, it's my own. I've never been inspired by that. I just came up with it. And really what it is and what we're talking about is what I do in my shows is I set up all of my songs with a story. I do a lot of research, because either my shows are autobiographical and I don't have to research those, right? But I do a lot of Sinatra and Rat Pack and Garland and et cetera, et cetera. I sing the Great American Songbook, as you know.
Oh, yeah.
And so, like, for instance, a real short one would be, did you know that when Judy Garland died, there was really a tornado in Kansas?
Oh, wow.
I mean, these are the kinds of things that, and then I have very long stories and I have short stories. A longer story would be, about Frank Sinatra and Dionne Warwick. A lot of people don't know that they share the same birthday, right?
That is
Do you
amazing.
know that? December 12th. And she calls him Poppy, Poppy. And he has never not called her and sent flowers ever on her birthday. These are just little things. And then I would go into a Dionne Warwick song. Or in the case of Judy Garland, I would go into Over the Rainbow or something.
Well, let's kind of listen to that rendition. That's a song that's quite significant. And you sing it with some passion and some heart. And we want our viewers to get a little bit of a snippet of your performance. So let's take a look at
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops, away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly, birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh, why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh, why can't I?
wow, your voice.
Thank you.
Well, this is going to be quite a show. Now, where can people purchase tickets? We want them to get an opportunity.
There are about 3 different places. Of course, the dentheater.com. And then they just click on tickets and under tickets, gallery view. Or I have another 2 places. You can call the box office. Now, they open at 12 and they're open till 4 today, for instance. And today, if you call and they don't answer because it's before 12 and we're on the air very early in the morning, you can always leave a message that you'd like to purchase tickets and mention my name, Barb Bailey, and say Barb 50. And I believe that will get you a 50% discount. So that's the other place. And then I have an executive producer who was formerly of Dick Clark American Bandstand and also CBS television here in Chicago. and that is Barry Edwards. And he has formulated an LLC around all of my shows, and that is BEP, like Barry Edwards Productions, .LLC. So there are 3 different ones.
All righty.
We're covered. Oh, and let me give you the box office number. That's really the best. That would be the best probably right now is 773-697-3850. 3830. 773. It's early. Oh my goodness.
Well, of course, it's scrolling right across the screen there. So all you have to do is write it down. If you're watching, there you go. It's right there.
697-3830.
Yeah. Yes. Well, we're about to take a break, but we've got some viewers that want to chime in here. And
oh, good.
Of course, you have Sherry Lynn Smith says an honorary doctorate. Wow, gotta be there for that presentation. Yes. We'll contact Barb for tickets for sure for that. And then you've got Carol Sue Gershman that says a real star. Yes, you are.
My sister from New York. I mean, we call each other sisters.
Yes.
She's a great singer. Carol Sue. And Sherry Lynn Smith is an amazing artist.
Oh, yes. She wants to know, is that cut on our 10 Divas CD? Love it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, well, that is amazing. Well, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to explore more. Of course, you all are welcome to call in and ask questions or write in your comments on our Facebook or YouTube page, and we will certainly take your calls, and we'll talk more about your unusual life story and how you happen to name the show Hollywood Out of the Box, what that really means. So we'll be right back. We're going to greet our global family watching and listening from all over the world, and then we'll be right back. So stay with us.
We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Здравствуйте. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, Bonjour. In Spain, Hola. In Italy, Ciao. In Egypt, Ahlan wa sahlan. In Ghana, Akwaba. In Nigeria, Peleo. In South Africa, Sawubona. In Senegal, Nangadef. In Kenya, Jambo. In Israel, Shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, Palestine, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all. Join us live on the on-air radio network. Call 727-731-5192. We want to talk to you.
Yes, we do want to talk to you, and we want you to talk to us too. And we are here with Barb Bailey, who will be receiving an honorary doctorate at the We Dream in Color Humanitarian and Unity Celebration, Saturday, July 19th at the DuSable Museum of African American History. And we are so excited because she is most deserving. Now, you've had quite an unusual life. Mm-hmm. This title of your show, Hollywood Out of the Box. Tell us, first of all, of course, you've had a very interesting beginning being found in a cardboard box. Tell us about how that happened to how did that happen?
Okay. Well, you started by telling everybody I was found in a box. So I always say once upon a time, a baby was found in a cardboard box, and that baby was me. Um, yeah, I was found inside the front door of the Tally Ho apartment buildings in Wheeling, West Virginia, by the caretaker that stumbled over the box when he came to work in the morning. And I became what they called the state of West Virginia took care of me. They were my guardian, actually, for 4 weeks, hoping that my mother would come back and claim me. And of course, she didn't. And so 4 weeks passed. There was this dinner party at Judge McKee's, and a young prominent attorney and his wife, George Bailey and Lucretia, went up to Judge McKee and said, so, Judge, whatever happened to that baby, the Tally Ho baby? And he said, it's really sad. Her mother didn't come back. And Monday, we are transporting her to the state orphanage. Well, I guess I wasn't there, but Lou and George said, no, please, you can't do this. We've been following her in the papers. We would like to adopt her, please. So literally, Naima, that morning at 10:30 in the morning when I was supposed to be taken to the orphanage, instead they were in his chambers adopting me, sight unseen. They'd never even met me. So, and I think it's interesting that Daddy's name is George Bailey, Jimmy Stewart, and it has been a wonderful life. It really, if a million couples lined up and I could choose one couple, I would choose them.
Wow, that is amazing.
So Hollywood out of the box is, from the cardboard box, and the box office is Hollywood.
Wow, that's powerful. So we've got another comment here from a fan there, Cinnabella, our Friday morning. I think it was one of her guests that mentioned your name, and she says, "Good morning, Naima and Barb, two of my favorite people." Yes, Cinnabella, another.
I love you. Hi, Cinnabella.
Another songbird. Yes.
Oh, great singer, amazing. Maybe we'll work together someday if I'm lucky.
That would be fabulous. Well, of course, you are just phenomenal in being able to demonstrate creativity. What was your first introduction into the entertainment business?
When I graduated from college in English with a minor in abnormal psychology, I just wanted to get through college. Okay. And I came to Chicago and I didn't know what I was going to do. And they wanted me to be a secretary and I didn't do that. Right. So I heard about an audition on Rush Street at the Hang Up, which you mentioned earlier, and I got the job as a DJ. So I was a DJ there for 2.5 years, and people come in, we'd all know each other by first name. So this one time, Bobby came up to me and said, "Barbara, the way you cook, the way you handle this room, I want you to come and work for me." And I said, "Well, Bobby, what do you do for a living?" And he said, "I am a music producer down the street at Universal Recording Studio." And I said, "Yeah, right." Tell me another one, right? It's too good to be true. But it was true. And he said, "Look, I know you love it here at the Hang Up, but give me one shot. My music rep left 3 months ago. I've been auditioning. I keep comparing everybody to you." And I couldn't believe it. So, I went there and I never looked back. I was his music rep for 5 years, going to Leo Burnett and J. Walter Thompson and everybody with my boombox, and shouting out about Bobby with the storyboards and you name it. And those were 3 martini lunch days. And anyway, I would bring back a demo after meeting and getting storyboards and talking to the media department and the art department. And we would, write a jingle and then I would take it back. And we often won. There were 80 different music houses. And if Josie Falbo or any of those gals are watching right now, they know, or Joni Pilato, there were 80 different at the time. And so we did really well. We really got our share. He ended up with 13 Clios. That's like 13 Grammys in the jingle business. We worked pretty hard.
Wow.
It was really great. That's how I got my start. And then he was also writing songs for Johnny Mathis and Barbara Streisand. And so what happened was he decided to move to Nashville and write more songs. So I found that as my opportunity to go to Hollywood. So in 1986, I moved to Hollywood.
Ah,
Uh-huh.
amazing.
And I was there for 14 years in the music business.
Mm.
Mm.
Wow.
And I ended up working for another music producer who's very famous in Chicago, Dick Marks. And Dick Marks called me and he said, Bailey, are you still in Hollywood? And I said, yeah. Dick, are you still in Chicago? And he said, no, Ruth and I have moved to Beverly Hills because our son, singer-songwriter Richard Marks, everybody knows Richard, is on top of the charts right now with Right Here Waiting for You, and he's dating Heather Locklear, and we don't want to miss any of this. So we sold our Highland Park residence, and we're in Beverly Hills, and I need an agent. Do you need a job? I said, do I need a job? After being there for a whole, year, going to all the right parties, but I didn't have any markers. Nobody knew what I could do. So I couldn't get arrested. I thought maybe I'd have to come back with my tail between my legs to Chicago. And then Dick had called me and we went to work, Sunset Sound Recording Studio in Hollywood for 8 years until he was in a horrible car accident. And that's when I moved back to Chicago.
I see. Oh my.
Yeah.
That is quite a story.
Yeah.
So how did you start managing acts?
Well, before I opened Barb Bailey Entertainment, Naima, I opened the music department for a beautiful boutique talent agency in Chicago, Lily's. Do you know them? Do you know Lily's? Anyway, at the time they were kitty corner from Oprah, right there in River North. And I was there for a while, and while I was there and getting new business for her in the music business and so forth, I got a couple of phone calls. And the first one was from a producer I know, in Las Vegas. And he said, Barb, there is this amazing kid, knocking around on the streets of Las Vegas in these clubs. He's an amazing, great singer, and he's got no representation. And I said, how old is he? And he said, 20. I said, never mind. I don't want to work with minors anymore. So about a year later, I got another call. I'm still at the agency. It sounded the same from another person. Barb, I just heard this great kid kicking around in Las Vegas and he doesn't have any representation. And he's amazing. And I said, how old is he? Not knowing it was the same person. And
oh my goodness.
He said 21. And I said, send me his sizzle reel.
Wow.
And he had me. It was, I've got you under my skin. After the first measure, he had me. Look, that was it. Hook, line, and stinker. And his name is, and still is Dakota Horvath. And that was, I opened Barb Bailey Entertainment around him in 1986.
Wow.
Yeah, his parents moved back from Chicago, and I signed Dakota, and he's in Vegas now. It's really great.
Oh, that is fabulous. Well, you've got some more comments here. Yeah, sharing instruments. I've never heard of it here. Stories in depth. Thank you for hosting, Barb. Oh yes, great. And you also have Josie Falbola says, looking great, Barb.
Hi, Josie.
And Carol
is one of those amazing singers. I still work with Josie, and I worked with her when I was at Bobby Whiteside. She's literally one of the best singers of all genres in Chicago and maybe in the land.
Oh, wow. Well, you've got another one here from Carol Sue Gershman that says, Barb, the way you tell your story is soulful. Your parents got a wonderful surprise and joy from you. Oh, wow.
That's my New York sister. We met at the show that I'm bringing to Chicago. We met at the show in New York that I did at Don't Tell Mama, one of my very favorite venues in the whole wide world. Don't Tell Mama is an amazing cabaret. And it's just, and Carol Sue had seen me on Facebook, and she and a friend, Andrew Porras, came to my show and stayed afterwards, and we've been friends ever since. We followed each other. Carol Sue's a wonderful entertainer. I just saw her at 54 Below in New York. Hi, Carol Sue.
Fascinating. Well, we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
And we'll be right back. And of course, if you are watching, you may write in your comments and we'll certainly pull them up on screen. And if you want to speak to Barb Bailey, you can give us a call, 727-731-5192. We want to hear from you. We'll put that number on the screen also, and we will be right back after this quick break. So stick and stay. Don't stray away. And we're going to hear some more exciting insights from Barb Bailey. We'll be right back.
Aha! The Alexander Experience in association with We Dream in Color Foundation presents the 2025 We Dream in Color Humanitarian and Unity Celebration at the historical Du Sabo Museum of Black History, honoring phenomenal people doing extraordinary things and empowering others to dream big. Save the date, Saturday, July 19, 2025, for an evening of celebrating life in this year of elevation, where unity and diversity meet, history will be made by the clear vision of the people's chief himself, Chief Tamba Taylor, aka the Are Etesheye of Akola Ijesha Kingdom. VIP red carpet and interviews start immediately by 6:30 p.m. American time. Show presentation starts by 8 p.m. while ticket sale go publicly in mid-May. Contact We Dream in Color Foundation for ticket and reservation. Go to wedreamcolor.org or your favorite honoree. One love.
We are back. You're watching the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. I'm Naima Latif, and our guest today is a phenomenal woman. We're pleased to introduce to you, and we want you to make sure you hear her at her upcoming performance. So now, Barb, you're going to be receiving an honorary doctorate at the We Dream in Color Humanitarian and Unity Celebration, a global event that is honoring many from a number of countries who have done some amazing things in their line of work, and you have done an excellent job in your entertainment business. So what is one of the most surprising things that you discovered about the entertainment business there in Hollywood? Something you had not expected to discover about that business.
You mean that I can talk about, right?
Yes.
Because they are listening. Hollywood is listening. I know they are. You know what? This is the truth. They get really a bad rap. You know, what do they say? Fruits and nuts. Well, forget about it. I've never met, except in New York and Chicago, I've never met more artistic, wonderful, creative people in the world. And the thing I love the most is you can be whoever you are. And, you know, we artists are not exactly the same person every single minute of the day, right? We get a lot of inspirations. And I mean, really, that's what's so wonderful. It's so freeing. And they really entertain your uniqueness, and they encourage that. And I think that's the biggest thing. I have a lot of respect for my friends and contacts in business, and I've kept them throughout the years. Of course, I usually perform in LA at Vibrato 3 times a year. That's Herb Alpert's wonderful supper club, 5-star. It's an amazing place. Anyway, I got ahead of myself probably, but I love it there. I go back as often as I can.
Well, that is fabulous. Well, you know, you've had some memorable experiences as a performer. What were some of your most memorable performances? Well, tell us about this one here.
You mean Hollywood Out of the Box?
Uh,
That's the one I did. I'm bringing Hollywood Out of the Box, the show that I did in New York at Don't Tell Mama. And I'm bringing that entire show to Chicago, to the Den on June 18th. Now, a lot of my fans and friends have seen Hollywood Stories, but here in Chicago, because I've done other Hollywood shows, but they haven't seen this show. This is almost a 100% different show because it's the authentic show that I did in New York, and I'm bringing it back here. I'm so excited about that, Hollywood Out of the Box, and you know, I talk about Burt Reynolds and Farrah Fawcett and Michael Jackson and Prince and Paris Hilton and Lady Gaga and Hugh O'Brien. I mean, you just name it, or composers and just fun things. It's a really fun show, and I do the show with the audience. It's very interactive. It's fun. I think people go away feeling pretty good. That's my goal anyway, afterwards.
yes. Well, I can see that you are quite a spirited performer, and got some more comments here. And Sherry Lynn Smith says, I'm so honored Barb Cinnabella Gill and Josie Falbo are having my portraits of them showing at the Midwest Museum of American Art in Elkhart during Jazz Festival. Barb, off to the farmers. Yes. And Josie Falbo says, hi, Blondie. Kisses.
Hi, Josie. Hi, Sherry. And you know what? Sherry Lynn is staying in town. She's being honored. I mean, all of her stuff, she's doing an art gallery show. And anyway, it's all going to Elkhart, Indiana. And she's staying in to go to my show and draw me in the show, which is what she does. And then go to Elkhart, Indiana. That's true friendship. So
Wow.
Thank you for that, Sherry. You know that.
Oh, yes. Wonderful. Well, it's wonderful to have great friends and
It is.
people that support you. And I can see from some of your photos that you really put your heart into your performances. Tell us about this one here. This is a powerful moment.
Oh, yeah.
Photo here.
That was at the Mercury Theater in Chicago, actually. And the show that I did there was Barb is a 4-letter word.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And that was very autobiographical, not one Hollywood story. A lot of other delicious 4-letter word stories.
Barb is a 4-letter word. I love that.
That was 2 years ago. Thank you. That was fun.
Yes.
I was at Mercury Theater here in Chicago.
Well, you apparently are definitely an original. This is quite an original kind of performance in telling your story and being able to, I guess, in a real sense, tell your autobiography through your performances. So
yeah, not all of them. Just, you know, I did 3 shows last year at Vibrato, for instance. Nothing about me. They were all about Sinatra. And the first show was an evening with Frank Sinatra. And then later in the year, I did From Sinatra to Garland. And then I did Sinatra and Singers Who Loved Him, which was really my favorite show because so many singers and entertainers had relationships, you know, really respectful relationships with Frank. They adored him.
Well, he had a song, of course, that was quite memorable, and you did quite a rendition of it.
The end is near, so I face the final curtain. My friends, I'll say it clear. I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's long. I've traveled each and every highway and more, much more than this. I did it my way. Regrets, I had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do. I saw it through without exemption. Then each charted course, each careful step along the byway, and more, much more than this, I did it my way. Yes, I'm sure you knew when I bit off more than I could chew, and through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and spit it out. I faced it all, and I stood tall and did it my way.
Wow. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous.
Thank you.
Yes.
Fun.
Yes.
Great song. Written by Paul Anka. When he was 16 years old, he was the youngest entertainer on the Strip. And Frank Sinatra had gone up to him and said, actually, he had sent a message to Paul saying, Paul, I'd like you to have dinner with me. I have something to discuss. And you know, when Frank Sinatra asks you for dinner, you go to dinner.
Dinner.
Right? And so they had this really great meeting. And out of that came the lyrics to My Way. And he wrote them for Frank. And a lot of people know this. The way he thought Frank would say them, you know, in a conversation. So that song is very conversational for that reason. Don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. And it speaks to someone who is an original creative person. They set their own mode. They don't follow anybody else's way of doing things. They're independent.
Yeah.
And that sounds like your life.
It is, and it was Frank Sinatra's life.
Yes. Yes.
And he's who influenced me the most. I know you were going to ask me probably.
Yeah.
You asked me that question.
Yeah. Who influenced your style, your choice of particular style of music and singing?
Yeah.
So Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
Oh, very classy.
Yeah. Now my favorite jazz female artist, although I can't sing like her, is Nancy Wilson.
Ah. Beautiful.
But I have others too, but she's my very favorite. And I got to know her a little bit, so that means a lot.
Now, are there some specific things you have to do with your throat in terms of making sure it doesn't get over hoarse, you know, when you're doing a lot of performances? How do you care for this instrument that you use to keep it?
Question. God, every singer out there wants to hear, because we all have different. I have a voice doctor, and he is basically holistic, which I love. Dr. Sims, if anybody wants to know, he's here at UI in Chicago. And he has recommended a couple of things to me that are holistic. And I would have to go and check my shelf to let you know exactly what they are, because they're hard to pronounce. One of them is a syrup that I take at nighttime, and the other one is just a pill. And if anybody wants to know, you can reach me on Facebook and Messenger. I'll let you know what they are. And it really helps a lot. And I drink a lot of tea. I like Steaz, S-T-E-A-Z. It's a cold tea, canned cold tea that's mango flavored from Whole Foods. I like that too. Coffee, forget about it. It'll just restrict the chords. And I can't sing anyway on coffee. And I'm a coffeeholic. So that's a drag, right? I'd love to be able to drink coffee, but I can't.
Well, I'm sure that is very helpful to singers who might have been drinking coffee and when I come there coughing.
They know.
Wow.
Most of us all know that. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's
Oh, yeah.
an aspiring singer. Now you know what you may have to give up in order to be a good one. Well, we're going to take our last break and come back and give you all some chances to get your tickets right now online and also talk to Barb Bailey. And we want you to consider.
Tea.
Yes. But we're certainly excited to give you a chance to get your ticket now for her show. And also, we want you to come to see her honored at the We Dream in Color Humanitarian and Unity Celebration, July 8th. They're at the DuSable Museum. So it's going to be a momentous, historic occasion. But we'll be right back after this last break. So stick and stay. Don't stray away. We'll be back with Barb Bailey. And you want to go and see Hollywood out of the box.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Naima Latif, and if you're watching this, that means you're one of the 4.6 billion people from around the world who are using an electronic device to talk to people. In these times, people are using the internet to talk to everybody. Friends, neighbors, family members, co-workers. People are on their cell phones and computers all day long. Now, if you're in business, that is great news. That means you can sell your products and services all day long and never have to leave your home. All you need is a media connection, somebody to connect you to an audience. And that's why I'm talking to you today. We produce programs, and our audience members are people who shop. They buy clothes, food, beauty supplies, cleaning supplies, home repair, transportation services, child care services. Whatever you're selling, they need to buy it. We're your media connection. Just follow this link, and tomorrow you can sit back and relax at home while your business is making you money.
And we are back. You are watching the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. I'm Naima Latif, and our fabulous guest today is Barb Bailey, soon to be receiving her honorary doctorate at the We Dream in Color Humanitarian and Unity Celebration, and featuring live coming up a wonderful show. And I believe that when people watch this show, you're going to see more imitations of this style of performing. They say imitation is the greatest form of flattery. So we want you to come and see her at Barb Bailey presents Hollywood Out of the Box. And she's a box office hit, as well as was someone found in a box, and has risen to be just a magnificent human being. And I think that people are going to, when they see this show, they're going to start thinking of how, if they're a performer, how they can incorporate this style of singing, storytelling, and really giving audiences a real glimpse of who you are as a person, to really appreciate your story. So, of course, the tickets, you can get them right across the screen. You can see where to get your tickets, and the box office, you can call 773-697-3830 right across the screen. You can see, and of course, get your tickets at bep.llc. Again, or you can contact the Den box office, and it's at 1331 North Milwaukee Avenue in Wicker Park, Chicago. And give them a call. Even if you call before 12, leave a message. Again, 773-697-3830. So we definitely want you all to get an opportunity to hear the magnificent Barb Bailey and this story that's so inspiring. So you have really exemplified the kind of class of a certain era of music. And I think people are going to really enjoy hearing you. We got some more comments here from our viewers. And Sherry Lynn says, Barb is a true original.
Hi, Sherry.
Yes. Well, she knows. She knows the magnificence of your work. And I really think that era of music has a lot to teach the current entertainers that are performing.
Yeah.
And they can learn a lot from your story. Now you also in this picture.
Oh yeah. Vibrato.
Is what was happening in this
Oh yeah, what's happening? Herb Alpert is in Beverly Hills. He's really in Bel Air in LA. And as I said, I love working there, and I hope to go back this fall. And I'm there, and I'm singing. I think that's from my show. I think that's from my Sinatra and others singers who loved him show. Yeah, and that was really a fun show because it wasn't just about Sinatra. It was about Sinatra's relationship with Johnny Mathis or Nat King Cole, or as I said earlier, Dionne Warwick, or Lady Day. It just was, it filled the gamut of interest. You know what I'm saying? And so many entertainers in the world during his lifetime loved him and respected him. And they talked about music, and they did a lot of it together. It's a really incredible. I do a lot of research, as most singers, especially in cabaret, do, because that's what cabaret is. It tells stories. I also sing jazz because I love to do both, but I'm a much better, I think, Great American Songbook cabaret singer. I did do, and I love the Jazz Showcase in Chicago, and that was strictly jazz. No scatting.
Yeah, that's a
Josie and Senabella.
Yes. So now tell us about this performance here in this photo.
Yeah, that performance was right after I told a story about Burt Reynolds, not Hugh O'Brian, and I couldn't wait to meet Burt. I was dating his stunt double, one of them, and we were at Evening Shade. It was the rap. Remember that, Lonnie and Burt, Evening Shade on television.
Yes.
And he came over, and I was introduced to him, and he was gorgeous. And then he went over there, with Lonnie, and that was it, I thought. But he ambled back over later, and he said, Barb, something's been nagging at me. He didn't say nagging, all night long. And I said, what, Burt? And he said, do you know who you remind me of? I said, no. Who? And he said, two women I'm in love with. I swear to you, this is what he said. Two women I'm in love with. He said, my wife, Lonnie Anderson, who's standing over there watching every move I make. Right? And can you guess the other one? Naima?
Oh my. Who would have been the other one? I'm trying to think who else in that era.
Well, I'll tell you. Sally Field.
Wow. That's interesting. Yeah.
I mean, what a span.
Yeah.
So
a little Sally Field in yeah.
So then I sang a song. His favorite song was Cry Me a River, his favorite church song.
Wow.
Burt and I became friends after that. And yeah, I learned that his favorite torch song was Julie London's Cry Me a River. So I'm singing, that's the high note there.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And this one here, of course.
That's the Mercury Theater. That was Barb as a four-letter word. That was really a fun one. You always get me with my mouth open, though.
Well, that's the classic photo that photographers like to get.
I know.
They want to get that energy.
That money note, right?
Right, absolutely. Yes. So what do you hope people will get out of hearing your story? What do you hope to inspire them with after you've told your story through this performance?
Really, this is what I mean. It doesn't matter how you start out in this world. What matters is what you do with it. You know, because we all have a story. Everybody really, if they dig deeply, everyone has a very interesting story. And just remember, you can be born and found, not born or found, but I was found when I was a week to 10 days old, but I was not born in the box. I was found in the box. But, you know, you can do anything. It doesn't matter. You just have to believe, have faith, believe in God. And you have a journey that you'll never regret if you follow your dreams. And I did, and I still am. I will be following my dreams, which are all artistic and creative and musical, and until I'm put in the grave.
Wow.
I'll never retire.
Wow. Well, there we have it. Hollywood out of the box. Now, what is your future vision for your show? Where else do you hope to take it and perform?
Well, we want to take it on tour. Barry Edwards, my executive producer, and he's also my manager. But I can't tell you yet what we're doing. That's a little bit of a secret. He would yell at me if I said anything. But I hope to go back to vibrato in Beverly Hills, really Bel Air, in the fall. And I hope to go back to, I'm invited back to both Don't Tell Mama in New York. And I don't know, the world, I might go back to my hometown, which is Wheeling, West Virginia. And I have a show called The Tally Ho Baby, Naima.
Oh, wow.
I know. I did it once, and it was, but you know why I want to do it again is because the darn videographer did not plug into the board. So I have nothing from that show. And the audience was filled with friends of mine, friends of mother and daddy's, you know, throughout the years. And I brought them all into my show with setups to my songs. It was a really special show. So I'd like to go back there to the Towngate Theater in Wheeling, West Virginia. Almost heaven, West Virginia.
Yes, I'm sure that'll hold quite a few memories. Well, we certainly do thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, Naima, so much. And to Quentin Alexander.
Oh, definitely.
Quentin D. Alexander.
And I'm looking forward to seeing your show. And I think we
can't wait to see you there.
Yes,
Thank
absolutely. You. And I think we've got another comment here. Oh, our dear. Oh, let's see. We've got Carol Sue Gershman said, tried to call you. Tried you. So enjoyable to wake up to you and your entertaining stories. You are a born entertainer and storyteller. Yes. And Sherry Lynn Smith says, love this morning show. I'm ready to go do things. Cheers. And our wonderful sister, Jody Susan, she is a marvelous person. Someone you should know down there in Georgia says hello. Yes, Jody.
Hi, Jody.
Does some fabulous things in keeping us healthy in a natural way. So definitely one to know. Well, I thank you so very much for all that you do. And looking forward to your show. And once again, we're going to make sure people know how to get tickets. They can contact the box office and call from 12 to 4 p.m. 773-697-3830. We want you to see this show. And you can also go to bep.llc or contact the Den Theater box office, and they are at 1331 North Milwaukee Avenue in Wicker Park.
And Naima, can I add one thing?
Absolutely.
Oh, yes. Thank you. If they call the box office and it's not 12 yet, I'm pretty sure you can leave a message. Just say it's Barb Bailey. And I believe if you say Barb 50, which means 50% off, then you'll get half off on the price of the ticket.
All right, there you go.
Barb 50.
Call that number and say Barb 50. All right, then you can get that special deal again. That is 773-697-3830.
Right. I hope to see you all there. Thank you.
Yes. Well,
Naima, you are awesome.
oh well,
So
only
much.
because I have awesome guests like you. That's what makes it happen.
Thank you.
And we will see you all tomorrow. Come on back on the Female Solution Global Radio TV show and join us for Mama Africa's House. We'll see you then. And until that time, continue to shine your lights. We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, Dhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, Ngiyabonga. Senegal, Jaref. Kenya, Asante. Israel, Toda. Pakistan, Shukriya. Afghanistan, Tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, Shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.